Good afternoon. Hope everybody's doing good. Hope everybody's feeling well, blessed. Most of all, I hope everybody's serving the Lord. We ask you to be in prayer for the sick and the shut in. Be in prayer for those that has had family, friends, and loved ones to pass away. I lost a good friend, uh, Ray Boyd Sr. Old biker man's what I always called him because that's pretty much what he was, an old biker man. And then a good friend of mine lost her daddy. Uh, Karen Snell lost her daddy, Sheldon. Uh, we ask you to remember them as well as all the others that has had family, friends, and loved ones to leave this world. I've been thinking on a thought for a pretty good while, and it's just a thought, but I want to speak on it for just a little while with the good Lord's help. You know, I went here a while back on a Sunday after church, and I drove through a place that I grew up called Bucksport, just a little small farming community. At one time, they probably wasn't over 8 or 10 houses on the whole road, and now it's like a little small town. Not much farmland left because they built on it. And as I drove through, I seen where old houses of people that I loved and grew up with were no longer there, tore down, burnt down, or whatever. And I seen old barns that I used to work in and play in, old cattle barns, horse barns, tobacco barns, and milk barns and stuff, were no longer standing, and some were completely gone. And I seen how a lot of the fields had growed over with brush and trees and first one thing and another that used to be smooth open fields that we rode horses in, or we put tobacco in, or hay, or soybeans, corn, wheat, whatever, back in my younger days. You know, time moves on. Whether we like it or not, time moves on. When I was growing up, I remember I could take a 8 to a 10 foot cedar post and walk a country mile with it and wouldn't even think nothing about it. I'm not even sure I could get it up on my shoulder anymore due to my age and my health. Got me thinking, good Lord willing, this coming Sunday, if the Lord allows me to live that long, I'll be 62. That's 61 years, 3 weeks, and 5 days longer than the doctors told my mama I would live. When I was born with a rare blood disease that was killing me. My own blood was killing me. I was purple. I was born 3 months early. I couldn't breathe. My windpipe was crooked. My food pipe was crooked. My blood was killing me. I was purple. And after I was born, this is what my elders told me, my grandparents and aunts and uncles and stuff, that the doctor handed me to my mama and said, take him home. If you get 2 days out of him, you'll be doing good. He ain't gonna make it. Well, good Lord had other thoughts and other ways for me. Like I said, if I make it to September, I'll be 62. Me, myself, when I was growing up, I thought I'd live forever. I thought I was indestructible. I could take 5 people and put them on my shoulders and walk a block or two before I'd have to set them down. I can't even get one on my shoulders now. But I thought I'd live forever. I thought I was indestructible. Didn't think you could kill me, not even with a bullet. That's how young people think. They think they're going to live forever. But then reality and time catches up with us and we realize different. It's a hard fact, but it's a truthful fact. We realize different. But before I get way ahead of myself, and I ask you be in prayer for the sick and the shut in, the needy. Be in prayer for those who's had family, friends, and loved ones to leave this world. Be in prayer for those that are homeless and whatever their needs might be. But most of all, be in prayer for the lost. That's the main thing. Be in prayer for the lost. If you've been saved by the grace of God, keep a prayer on your heart for those that are lost. That God will open up their eyes and their ears and help them realize they got a heaven to gain and most assuredly a hell to shun before it's everlasting too late. Titled this one, When I Was Young. Yep, when I was young, I could run through the woods all day long, chasing the rabbit hounds, or at night chasing the coon hounds across the fields, chasing after the bird dogs. And now it probably take me all day long just to get across a good sized field anymore. But I rode horses for many years, and them things would dump me. They'd throw me off. Some of them would rub up against a barn and drag me off if they got half a chance, or a fence post or something. I'd just get up, jump back on, and take off again. Now, I'm not sure I could get up. Used to ride motorcycles and acted silly and dumb on them things. As I tell a lot of them young whippersnappers out there at work, the only reason why I'm old and gray is because the good Lord watched over me when I was young and dumb. He watched over me. He had a purpose for me. And one day, when I meet him, I'm going to ask him what it was. But to get into my scriptures before I get way ahead of myself, I titled this one, When I Was Young. Because of the 11th verse in 1 Corinthians of the 13th chapter, when I was a child, I spake as a child. I understood as a child. I thought as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. We all go through this stage, men, women, boys, girls, we all go through this stage where we're growing up. And we don't think about the future. All we're thinking about is right then, right there. That's all I thought about when I was a child, was right then, right there. Whether I was going to fish, whether I was going to coon hunt, bird hunt, squirrel hunt, rabbit hunt, deer hunt, fox hunt, trap, go ride horses, or hitch up the horses and ride on a wagon or mules or go to the field. I had a few friends that still hired their backer out and stuff and with old mules and horses, and sometimes they'd let me help them when I was little. But when I was little, I thought as a child. And basically, all that was thinking about what made me happy and the things that I wanted to do, things that pleased me. And I done that. Something come to my mind, I done it. But there come a time when I no longer could get by with thinking as a child and acting like a child. Of course, everybody knows me, knows my life history. I had to grow up fast. I've been on my own since I was 13-year-old and pretty much doing the best I could to take care of myself. And so I had to grow up fast. So I had to put my childish things away. And I had to start thinking like a man on how to take care of myself. So I quit a lot of the playing when a lot of the kids were still horseback riding, fishing and hunting, going down to the Whitehorn Ford to swim in the creek, Jasper River, whatever you want to call it. I was somewhere working in hay, tobacco, mowing yards, uh, cleaning yards, cleaning out barns, and cleaning out cattle stalls, horse stalls, hog barns, chicken barns, whatever, to make some money to get by on. Helping kinfolk build houses and paint and stuff. But when I was a child, like most of us, that's all we thought of was the childish things. I walked everywhere I went until I was in my 20s and I finally got my driver's license. I walked everywhere I went, or I found some old junky bicycle and fixed it up enough where I could ride it, and I rode it. But there come a time when I realized, Jimmy, you can't do this no more. You're going to have to start taking care of yourself because you got nobody to take care of you. Even though I was already working, and a lot of times I was working when most people were sleeping, plus still trying to go to school, because every time I'd walk out, they'd send the law after me, and I'd wind up having to go back. But I realized that life moves on. Life makes a change in us and all things around us. Those barns that I used to house tobacco and hay in, or hogs or horses or cattle, a lot of them no longer stand. Time took them. They decayed and fell down because they wasn't took care of, or the weather got them and they fell down. That's kind of like we are. As we age, our body decays, our joints get weaker, our bones get weaker and brittler. We can't do the things we used to do when we were kids. I used to climb a tree. It made no difference how high it was. Shake me a coon out, and dang near get to the ground before the coon did. Can't even climb a tree no more. Can't hold my breath long enough to get up the tree. And I can't hold my balance enough to keep from falling out. So time makes a change in each and every one of us. We think as a child, when we're children, and that's to enjoy life, to have good times, to play games with our friends, to go around and be with our friends. We don't think about work. We don't think about bills. We didn't think about what it took to have water and lights. And I grew up most of my places when I was growing up, we didn't have water. We didn't have inside bathrooms. We had to go to the outside john, the toilet, outside toilet, john, privy, can, whatever you want to call it, little building out back. We had to go to that. And believe me, it sure makes you appreciate inside plumbing, especially in the wintertime. But I understood things as a child. My mind wasn't developed enough to understand that lights cost money, water costs money, rent costs money, the way to heat the home or cool the home costs money, to buy groceries, to get gas to be able to get back and forth to town and stuff. I didn't think about none of that. That was my daddy's job or my mama's job up until I walked away for personal reasons, and we'll leave it at that for right now. May get into it sometime if good Lord ever allows me to preach on the prodigal son again. But I understood as a child, and the only thing back then I wanted to really understand was having fun. But life hit me, and I realized when I walked out away from my family and stuff, because of personal reasons, I realized, boy, you can't be a boy no more. You're going to have to stand on your own feet. You're going to have to cowboy up. You're going to have to man up to take care of yourself. Or you're going to starve to death or freeze to death. And I started making deals with people. If you let me stay in your barn or your corn shed or backer shed or corn crib, whatever, basement, attic, whatever, feed, excuse me, feed me one meal and wash my clothes, I'll work for you for free. But on the days you don't have stuff for me to do, I'll be out somewhere trying to find a way to make some money so I can take care of myself. And I made that deal with a lot of people. Then there was times when I slept in the woods, made me a little lean-to and stuff, up against a bluff and slept in the woods. Bought an old 70 van, Chevy van, slept in it for a pretty good while. But then I realized, this ain't working. I enjoy it, but it ain't working. It ain't getting me nowhere. And as time went on and I got a little older, I realized that, you got to get a home. You got to get a stable home. It don't have to be fancy, but you got to get someplace that you can call a home. So I went to work in factories. My first job was in a factory where you skin out dead cows and ground up old hogs and horses and stuff like that. And I worked there till they found out I wasn't old enough to be there, and that and the guy I was riding with, because I didn't have a driver's license, got where he wouldn't stop and pick me up. So I hitchhiked into town and told the plant manager I was going to have to quit, and explained to him why, that I'd rather quit as be fired than be on my record the rest of my life. So I quit, and I found some other jobs and worked them. But as I worked these jobs, I started realizing the things that adults realize. That, you can still have fun, but you have to have your priorities set. You have to follow these priorities and keep them. Because there's going to come a day when you ain't going to be able to take care of yourself. There's going to come a day when you're going to need somebody else's help to take care of you. Now I want to go over to the writing of John, the 21st chapter, the 18th verse. Read that one verse. It says, Verily, verily, I say unto thee, when thou wast young, thou girdest thyself, and walkest whither thou wouldest. But when thou shalt be old, thou shalt stretch forth thy hands, and another shall gird thee and carry thee whither thou wouldest not. We all got a time coming, if good Lord allows us to live that long, that we're going to get to a point where that we're going to need somebody else's help to feed us, to help bathe us so we don't sit around stinking, and take us to places we need to go, doctors and stores, whatever. Take us back and forth to the potty, take us back and forth to the bed. We're going to need people to actually physically dress us, wash us, feed us, and take us places we need to go. Now, I've dealt with old folks, and I don't mean that disrespectful by no means, but I've dealt with old folks all my life because I'd rather be with them listening to their stories as to listen to a lot of what the young ones wanted to talk about. Even when I was wild and woolly, I'd rather be sitting somewhere listening to people talk about how they grew up busting wood and packing in coal and water and plowing and disking with horses and mules, hand picking corn and milking cows and stuff like that is to sit around and listen to what a lot of the children had to say. I never run with kids my age. I always run with people older than me. And I guess that's the reason why I stayed in trouble so much. But there's coming a day when we're going to need somebody to dress us, clothe us, feed us, and keep us in good shape the best to their ability, give us our medicine and so forth. The point I'm trying to get to is this. Make sure when you're growing up, you have your fun. But make sure that when the time comes, you're prepared, you're ready to take care of yourself. So many, and I do not mean this disrespectfully by no means, so many of the young generation today have no clue what it's like and what it's about. That's fixing to get hit in the face, gonna get slapped hard with reality, a cold case of reality, and they ain't gonna like it. They ain't gonna like it at all. You know, they've been handed everything. And it's good, you know, if your mom and dad can give you the stuff that you need and most of the stuff you want, but it's better if you earn it. That way, when you grow older, you understand the value of a dollar and you understand the value of somebody being nice enough to give you something. Because this world ain't going to give you nothing but a hard way to go. And those that are in it, that's all they're going to give you. Most of them is a hard way to go. But we need to make sure that we get our priorities in line. As the old folks used to tell me, Baltimore, get your ducks in a row. That way when they go off into the pond, they where they need to be. Took me a pretty good while to understand what they were saying. One, make sure you're saved by the grace of God and you're living a Christian life and you claim to be a child of the King, a newborn believer, washed in the blood of the Lamb, then act like it. A lot of these younger ones don't understand. It's all been handed to them. And then they get thrown out into the cold world. And it ain't a good thing for them because they don't know how to deal with it. I have always not been what or the way I should have for many years. But there came a day when the good Lord told me, I called you to preach in 1973. And this was in 1985. When he finally told me straight up, it come to me just as I'm talking to you. I know most people think I'm crazy. I probably am. With my bloodline, it's a very good possibility. But it come to me one night laying in the bed after I'd got married and been married a little over a year. Good Lord woke me up from a dead sleep and told me, Jimmy, this is it. This is your last warning. This is your last chance. Get started preaching because I'm fixing to get my honor and glory out of you one way or another. I let you live all these years for I have a purpose for you. I have a reason for you. And if you don't start, I'm fixing to bring you home. And then I'll get my honor and glory out of you, showing others what happens to those that don't do what I ask them to do. Believe me, that cold slap in the face of reality not only woke me up from a dead sleep, but it really woke me up. And I went to church that Sunday and announced my calling to preach. Next month, if I remember correctly, next month, on the 13th of October, I will be preaching 39 years. 39 years. Because a year after will be my 40th year. Thank to the good Lord, I've had a good run. I've been blessed to be able to preach a lot of places that a lot of preachers wouldn't allow to come to. White folk, black folk, brown folk, red folk. Color don't mean nothing. That's only skin deep. It's the soul. See, that's something I learned at a young age. Color don't mean nothing. What a man or a woman looks like don't mean nothing. That's carnal. It go back to the dust. It's the soul. Even before I was called to preach, I learned this. That the soul of a person, man, woman, boy, or girl, and how they act, how they treat you, means a whole lot more than how they look. Because I've had some of the richest people treat me like trash. And I've had some of the poorest people treat me like trash. And then I've had some of the richest people be kind to me. And I've had a lot of the poorest people be kind to me. It don't matter about the status. What matters is your soul. Is it prepared? Because there's coming a day. There's coming a day to all of us when God will say, come home. Now, whether it's here recently or later in life or when he finally decides to end time as we know it and he sends his son to bring his children home. We need to be prepared. As a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child, but there come a day when I had to put my childish stuff away. And I had to take care of my wife, my ministry, my oldest girl, and then my youngest girl. And God blessed me with a grandson who'll be 17 on the 29th of this month. Hard to believe. Boy's 6 foot tall, wears a size 13 shoe, and skinny as a rail. Time sure goes by. But as a child, we thought we'd live forever. We'd always be young and strong. But as we get older, we realize that's not the way it happens. We get hit in the face with a cold facts of reality, and they hit hard. We get to a point to where that we have to have people to remind us stuff because our minds and our memories go to slipping. Then we got to have people to help dress us and feed us because our body gets weak and won't allow us. We have to have people give us baths, get us up, dress us, and take us to the doctor and store and wherever else we need to go. Bring us back home, put us back in the bed, change our diapers. Yeah. You come in this world and a lot of them wears diapers. And then a lot of them, before they go out, have to be put back into diapers because their bodily functions can't be controlled. And I do not mean that disrespectfully. I'm just trying to say time goes on and time makes a change in our life and in our bodies. Be ready, be prepared. As you younger ones are growing up, think about your future. Don't wait till the last minute. Those that are in school, God bless you. Stay in there till you get her done, get her did, and make something out of yourself. Make something, get you a job that you enjoy doing. Because you find something you enjoy doing, it's not really work. Even though it is work, it's not really work. Now, I always considered work something I didn't like. And that was generally a job I didn't like. But God blessed me in the last 13 going on 14 years or so. And I've been able to paint. Even though I work in a factory, I've been able to paint. And I thank God every day for it because it's something I enjoy doing. As a child, I never thought I'd get where that I couldn't take care of myself. I always thought that I'd be able to. But with my diabetes, my kidneys, my heart, my liver, I know it's only a matter of time. And then I'll have to depend upon somebody, as it said here in the 21st chapter of John. Verily, verily, I say unto thee, when thou wast young, thou girdest thyself, and walkest wherever thou wouldest. But when thou shalt be old, thou shalt stretch forth thy hands, and another shall gird thee and carry thee whither thou wouldest not. My eyes are failing me, and I think a lot of that's due to my diabetes. I can't see as good as I used to. It comes to all of us. I used to go coon hunting with my daddy and my friends, my uncles and other kin folks and stuff. Hunt all night and never even take a light. Now I can't even hardly see to read my Bible. But I'm still grateful that God allows me to be able to read my Bible. We all go through a stage where we're young, we're strong, think we're going to live forever. But then the cold reality slaps us in the face and we realize, ain't happening, Captain. Ain't happening. We're going to have to depend on somebody. The point I'm trying to make, and I'm doing a miserable job at it, or at least I feel like I am, is while you're still young and you can do something about it. Get your ducks in a row before they go off into the pond, as my elderly kinfolk used to tell me. That way when they go into the pond, they're in a row that they need to be in, how they need to be, and things will fall in place for you better. I thank God every day that He allows me to be able to get up and be able to live the way I need to in order to warn somebody the three wrath is to come. God bless each and every one of you.